Well, it's 21 degrees out and I'm grouchy. I don't like the cold and I don't know why I still live here. But the weather isn't the only thing that has turned cold. Our hunt for the flag trailer is also cold. So as you can see, I'm leaning on the flag semi-tractor, right? Which a lot of you guys know about, you followed our videos. There hasn't been much activity on it, but in a couple weeks, we've got something big happening, a nice positive step in the restorations happening in a couple weeks. So for those of you looking for videos on the semi-tractor restoration and its progress, you won't have to wait much longer. We will have another video soon. But this video is all about the Dorsey trailer, the screen-used Dorsey trailer. We need your help to find it. So today we are going to spend this video talking specifically about the trailer, every detail we know about it, every modification that was done to it that might help to identify it out in the wild. So watch, share, and let's hope that we can bring the flag trailer home to match up with the semi. So in one of our previous videos when we were talking about the restoration of the semi-tractor, we went over in a little bit of detail the trailer and what we know about it. We know it's a late 1970s Dorsey 45-foot electronics van, and we know some of the modifications that were done to it by the studio. So let's just dig in and let's go over some of those modifications. A ridiculous amount of research has taken place with regards to finding the Knight Rider trailer by us over the past few years. So let's bring you into our world for a minute, dare we? Just so you can have an appreciation of the efforts that we are going through in order to find the trailer. So the flag semi-trailer, we know, is a 45-foot Dorsey electronics van model DF-VPT-277E. That model number decodes like this. DF-VPT stands for drop frame vertical post tandem axle. The 2, right after the hyphen, stands for 20,000 pound axles. The 77 is the year the model was designed. So 1977 in this case. And the E is for electronics van. Now this is a good time to mention that even if one of the electronics vans is built in, say, 1980, the model number is still going to have that 77 in it. That doesn't change. All right. So for years, we've been archiving any Dorsey model DF VPT that we can find, plus other models from that same manufacturer. There aren't a ton of them out there any longer, as you can imagine, and unfortunately, but we did amass a fairly healthy list of over 100. So by doing this, we're able to see that the electronics vans were produced at least through 1984. Clearly the van we're looking for, the last year it could have been produced was 1982, right? Because they used it in the pilot. So at this point, our model year range for the flag semi is 1977 through 1982. And because there's no VIN decoder out there for these trailers, the only way we're going to become experts is to start cataloging every Dorsey we can find and see if we can uncover any patterns. And boy, did we. Listen to this. Through the 1980 model year, the VINs of Dorsey trailers are a simple sequential 6-digit number. That 6-digit number didn't reset for each new model year, but simply continued from the last year. So a 1977, maybe the VIN of the last one they made there is 123456. For 1978, they're going to pick up right where they left off, 123457, and so on. It wasn't until the year 1981, when the rules around VINs changed here in the United States, that Dorsey switched to the standard 17-digit VIN. So we can potentially cut down our model year range if we could just figure out if the trailer had a short 6-digit VIN or the longer 17-digit one. But how can we possibly figure that out without seeing the trailer in person? Well, you can thank Chuck Bale for this next breakthrough. Who is Chuck Bale, you might ask? Well, Chuck directed the 4th season episode, The Wrong Crowd. In that episode, the flag semi is hijacked and Michael must get it back. Well, there's one particular scene where Scott Hollander, one of the antagonists in the episode, is walking past the trailer. Thanks to Chuck's decision to place the camera where he did, we see a glimpse of the VIN plate on the flag semi-trailer. This is absolutely the best shot we get of this plate in the entire series. But man, it's so small and seemingly so hard to read. Well, we can't just give up there, can we? After all, we are the Knight Rider historians. We had our friend Adam Kidwell run this shot through his AI enhancement software. Now, obviously, there's only so much this software can do. It had to work with whatever data was actually in the screenshot. However, the program was able to enhance the plate just enough that we do see, well, something, where the VIN is normally stamped on these Dorsey VIN plates. Blurry and illegible, but the length of the blur indicates a 6-digit VIN, not a 17-digit one. So for comparison, let's take a look at the screenshot from The Wrong Crowd, and let's compare it to a Dorsey VIN plate with 6 digits. Can you see how the length of the two kind of match up? The length of the blur and then the length of the actual 6-digit VIN? Now let's compare it to a 17-digit one. See the difference? All right, but that's not all we can glean from this tag. Dorsey had a number of manufacturing plants, but as far as we can tell, they only built the electronics van in their Elba, Alabama factory. In fact, if you look closely at the screenshot from The Wrong Crowd, we can see the flag trailer is stamped with the Elba, Alabama plant name. And get this, there's actually an old style Dorsey VIN plate from Elba, Alabama, and there's a new one. The old plate features a thinner Dorsey font, and also the text where it has Elba, Alabama is actually offset from the word trailers that's right above it. Around the fall of 1977, they changed to the newer plate, and you can tell in the Knight Rider screenshot from The Wrong Crowd, this is the newer plate. So it's not much, but that eliminates early 1977 builds for our missing trailer. So, if you're still with me, that means this level of detail is somewhat interesting to you. And by the way, we do this level of detail for many things in the Knight Rider world, not just this trailer. So, now that we've dug into the minutia of Dorsey construction and VIN configurations, let's now talk about some of the lengths we've gone to in an attempt to find this trailer. In 2002, we talked to Jack Gill and asked him if he knew where the semi was located. Of course, not knowing that we'd owned the semi-tractor many years later. His only tidbit of information was that he recalled seeing the trailer on the Universal Studios backlot many years after the show had ended. The paint was peeling and it was in a bit of disrepair, but it was still at the studio. Many years later, we made the acquaintance of a man who worked at the studio and worked on Knight Rider, who purchased the trailer from the studio. Now, he believes that the studio painted the trailer white or silver before he took ownership of it. This man owned the trailer for a number of years before selling it roughly in the mid-2000s. Unfortunately, he doesn't believe that he has any paperwork on the trailer or has any memory of who he sold it to. For now, that lead, our best one, has kind of gone cold. But we didn't stop there. Through additional research, we located a now closed trailer sales company that had ties indirectly to Universal Studios. After digging through their paperwork, they did locate and provide us 2 potential VINs for the flag trailer. And yes, they are pre-1981 6-digit VINs, so that lines up with our research that we talked about a little bit ago. However, trying to run VINs on generic 6-digit numbers has proven very difficult. Since it is just 6 digits, VIN searches return other things like farm equipment and absolutely no hits on Dorsey trailers. So that might be a dead end for now as well. Unfortunately, since we are looking for a trailer and not a running vehicle, it's very possible that the trailer was sold as a bill of sale only and is being used as a storage container now, if it still exists at all, which we're hopeful that it does. So in addition to all of that, we've talked to our contact at Universal Studios. They have no records on equipment that old. We inquired with the California DMV on the license plate we see attached to the trailer in the show. Nothing. Again, records from 35 years ago were purged long, long ago. We talked to Dorsey to see if they have any sales records. Nope. All of their records were purged when they went to bankruptcy restructuring many years ago. So, much like the Sub-Zero function in KITT, everything has turned ice cold. After we revealed that we saved the Flag semi-tractor, we did receive a few leads on the trailer. One lead was so promising that AJ quite literally dropped everything he was doing, got in his car, and drove to Phoenix, Arizona to verify it. The seller claimed it was the screen use trailer, but it was heavily modified for use by a racing team years later. After AJ spent hours and hours going over the trailer with a fine-tooth comb, it was determined that it was not the trailer we were after. In fact, towards the very end of the inspection, AJ uncovered a hidden logo on the trailer indicating that it was not a Dorsey at all, but rather a Fruhoff branded trailer. Now, if you know AJ, you know he recorded the entire encounter. If you want to see this, consider joining our Patreon community at the link below. You'll see all of this footage, plus all kinds of other fantastic goodies not available to the general public, so you absolutely do not want to miss out. Not long after that, we had another potential lead in a small town outside of San Diego, where the submitter described in detail the trailer and roughly where it was located. We went to this town when we were in the general area, but it appears that it wasn't a valid lead either. So besides that, and the random emails that we still get to this day saying things like, "Hey, I saw the trailer 15 years ago in Connecticut," or "I know where the trailer is, I own it, you can have it for $200,000. Other than those type of emails, our leads have dried up. So, if the trailer is still out there, it's not going to look like the Flag trailer. You aren't going to see a black trailer, gold stripes, or a chest piece insignia on the side. But there are some modifications that the studio made that may be visible today, so let's go over them. Number one, of course, the special effects ramp on the back, with the extending ramps that come out of the end cap, would certainly be a huge, huge giveaway. It was lowered by a pulley and motor system, which can be visible here. On the outside, you can also spot bolts added to the side of the trailer that held some of these mechanisms in place. Number two, there should also be evidence of a drop ceiling on at least the back half of the trailer. We don't know if the drop ceiling was the entire length of the trailer, most likely not. So there should be, if the drop ceiling is not there today, there still should be some evidence, some mounting holes, things like that. Of course, number three, the unique belly box under the trailer would be another clue. Now, we don't know if this was built by Dorsey or added later by the special effects crew, but it's either going to have belly boxes under there or mounts or holes where the belly boxes were. And finally, probably the biggest giveaway outside of the special effects ramp off the back would be these rails along the back edge of the trailer. These rails were added for the episode The Wrong Crowd so the stunt guys could climb up the back of the trailer for the scene where they're hijacking the semi. In conclusion, we simply must find this trailer. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It must be reunited with the tractor and restored to its former glory. But we need your help. How? Well, now that you've listened to me ramble on about everything we've tried to do to find the trailer, what are we missing? What other avenues do you suggest that we try? We read every comment, so please let us know your best ideas below, or email us at nightriderhistorians@gmail.com. You can also help by sharing the crap out of this video. posted on racing team Facebook groups, vintage heavy-duty truck forums, local Southern California groups, whatever. The further our reach, the better the odds that we find it. Alright, that's all I've got for you today. With any luck, I'll be posting a follow-up video very soon announcing that we found the trailer. As always, thanks for watching. We'll catch you next time.
And now, while we listen to Joe's selection of Knight Rider music that we received directly from Don Peak himself, we'd like to thank these Patreon supporters. Look at you guys scrolling up the screen to my right. Wait a minute, how can you tell which side is my right, since you can't see me because I'm not on camera? Oh well, you know what I mean. We're featuring these fine supporters at our Knight Rider Prop Restorer level. Thank you very much for your support. And for those of you at the Knight Rider History Hunter level, we're recognizing you right now in the description. Now, if you enjoyed seeing this golden nugget of Knight Rider history being rescued from obscurity, then please consider supporting us on Patreon. Your support would empower us to bring you even more of these historical nuggets. We are the Knight Rider Historians. Till next time, take care, everybody. Bye-bye.